There we go. Okay, I got it fixed, guys. It looked like it was muted, but I couldn't figure it out. So I think I got it. Welcome, everybody. Of course, I had to have a little technical difficulty to get on today. All right. Looks like, can you hear me now? Okay, good. Good. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. It's been a while. It looks like we have a few of you in chat already. Michelle, you were early. I put that in the newsletter. I did an announcement about it, but yeah, we've had daylight savings time here. So some of you who are international, it's an hour earlier, which I hope that's a good thing. But I know there's certain times of the years that it's kind of like harder. I'm thinking this is the easier time. So I'm hoping. Here, just one second. I got notifications coming up. I'm a little rusty, but we're going to, get all settled in here in just a moment. So we have Michelle here. Welcome. We got Cheryl. It's okay to be early, Cheryl. We got Ari here. Welcome, Ari. We got Holly here. She's been lurking for months and finally figured out how to actively participate. That's awesome. So glad that you kept trying, Holly. Kelly's here. Hello, Kelly. Crystal. Welcome, Crystal. And let's see. We have Vicky. I'm thinking that's it. We've got sound now, so that's a good sign. Cameron, my hubby, he's downstairs, so that's him. We both work from home, so it's always nice that we have each other for lunch and we go for walks together. It's been really nice. Luis, hello, Luis. I'm so glad to see you. And Chrisella. Oh, man, Karen's here. Hello. Well, welcome, everybody, and I'm so glad that you guys made it. Welcome, Holly. I think I said hello. Yep. And we're going to get, settled in a little bit here while people start rolling in. And I got to catch you guys up on some things. It's been a whirlwind. I just kind of came off of an auction. I did the Stephanie Gagos online auction on Facebook. I've been working with her for years. And it was a wonderful opportunity, and it all went really well. I sold 30 pieces, so I can't complain. And then after the auction ends, you got to ship everything and communicate and do all that. So it's definitely been a whirlwind. An auction can take like about 1.5 to 2 months to fully cycle through because you got to prep for everything and then you got to ship everything. So it's a wonderful experience, but it's also not for the faint of heart because a lot of communicating and doing all of that. But it was super fun. Thank you guys, Chrisella and Louise. I appreciate that. Loretta's in the house. Welcome, Loretta. It's a cool, damp fall day there. Yeah, we're about the same over here. I'm in Oregon State, so we're about 15 minutes from Portland, Oregon, and it has been a fall is fully moved in. So we're starting to get that crisp in the air where there might be some frost happening soon, but we still have quite a few trees with leaves on them that are all turned, they're turning. But let's see here. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, and you guys got to witness quite a few of those pieces too. So this piece that's up, I just like to start with something on my screen. I haven't really revealed what I'm going to be doing today. But this was my latest Pastel Insider membership lesson called The Messengers. And I took you on a journey of how to create this wonderful ambiance and atmospheric kind of vibe and really honed in on creating a focal point. And what I loved the most was just bringing the water together on this and everything. So if you're interested in learning more, I have the link down below in my description. You can check out the Pastel Insider membership. And if you want to kind of expand your soft pastel knowledge and really dive in deep to PanPastel. So this was created with mainly PanPastel and pastel pencils. So that was a lot of fun. And what we're going to be working on is kind of a little bit different today. Oh, we got Laura in the house. Hello, Laura. Welcome. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so I did this piece a long time ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. It was an early piece, and then it was fun to revisit it and see how I've grown. And working with light has definitely been something that I've grown the most in. So that was a lot of fun to see. But today we're going to be exploring together. I'm going to take you on a journey. And I know many of you know this, but I am getting ready in like, I think 13 days. I'm going to be leaving to go into a smaller version, kind of a mini residency at the Golden Foundation. I was invited with 2 other artists, and it's a rare case this is a new thing they're doing where they just invited us to focus on PanPastel. And I'm really honored, and the 2 other women that will be joining me, I really can't wait to get to know them better. So with that, we got connected with some paper samples, and the paper sample company sent me this wonderful stash of papers that I want to sample, and they're from Legion. So Legion paper, they do like, I think they're, I had it up here. They have all kinds of beautiful papers like Stonehenge and they have Yupo, and they have a lot of beautiful, beautiful papers. And I went through and grabbed, asked for samples for ones that I thought would work with my black PanPastel technique. So I want to state right away, like this full color is a totally different process. I do 2 different processes, and this one is full color PanPastel with pencils, and I also use the full range where I don't use any fixative or I don't seal these. They have to be protected under glass. So that is the point I really want everyone to distinguish, because I'm going to move into more of a mixed media vibe here with the black PanPastel. I also have some colors on here, but I'm not going to go over the core color and go into any of the tints or the highlights, because you can't seal those, and I use the paper for those highlights in this technique. So I'm going to move into that, and I'm going to go over some papers and talk about what I'm interested in and sample some of them and kind of go through, because I have to choose a few before I head out on this residency, because they're going to mail some papers to us, and we get to try them out while we're there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. I think Golden is here in New York. It's about 2.5 hours. Yes, it is in New York. I'm going to upstate New York, way out in the boonies. I think it's Berlin is where it is. And it is way out there, about an hour and 30 minutes from the Syracuse airport. So yeah, it's going to be a journey. Watch the class already. Might be the first class I try, getting my paper mounted and outline. Wow, Chrisella, I'm stoked for you. I'm really excited for you. This piece is really beginner friendly. I really walk you through everything. I think you'll have a great time, and the water is so much fun. You're gonna have a great time. So I'm gonna take that off, and I'm gonna shift into this other mode here and kind of walk through these papers, and we can see what those are like. I'm like, how am I going to fit all this in and get these ordered? And so I came up with this idea. So I'm going to go tape this over here on my wall, and then we will kind of unbox these a little bit together. I think that'll be fun. So let's see. So exciting visiting Golden Studios and PanPastels. Yeah, I will be able to tour. I'm really excited. I'm going to be able to tour all of the manufacturing facilities for where they make all the paint in Golden. And then they also moved the PanPastel manufacturing there too. And it's only, I guess, like about a mile away or less from where we're staying. And we're staying in the Golden Foundation. It's an old, like a renovated barn with like apartment studios in it. And then they have studios. We each get a studio. So that'll be fun. I'm hoping to maybe do a live stream, but I'm not totally counting on it because I don't know how that's going to go yet. I have presented it, and we have to feel some things out. And if I do a live stream, it'll be the second week I'm there. So I'm there from the 1st of December to the 13th. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right. So when I was thinking about these papers to try, what I was thinking about was the soft paper. You know, I wanted something smooth. And what I currently use is the Canson mixed media paper. And I really like that. I was just trying to see if I had a pad out here. Let me see here. I usually stash a pad here. So this is a great paper, but it's a really broad paper. Like you can use it for all types of different things. Oh, my screen's gone just a second. I pulled up the Blick thing to see it and I can't see. But it's a great paper. And what I do is for this technique, I use the back of the paper because it's smoother. And that took me a while to figure out. And I thought, wow, you know, we're getting these paper samples. Why not see if maybe I can find another paper that I really might like even better, or just gives me different like perspectives of how I can use it. So I was really interested. It was kind of cool. I got a little tags here, you know, and so I also got the aqua one. I did the hot press because it's really smooth. Because I grabbed some black papers, and this is all blacks so that they carry. It's a black collection. So I'm really excited about trying that out and pulling a few from there. And then these are the ones that I hand-picked for my own. I went through their line and then hand-picked them. And so what's cool is I worked for a print company I was a graphic designer for a few years before I had children, and I was a graphic designer, and so I worked with print companies. So this was kind of fun to be able to get sent paper samples. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to see if you can. Let me zoom in a little bit, and then I will, yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is like the Lennox white, and it's supposed to be really, you know, a beautiful paper. I saw some people using one color of PanPastel or a pastel on it, and I thought that looked really good. So this is my top one I want to try. I think this one might be like tick all the boxes because it's smooth and both sides seem pretty about the same, but I want to play with this one. This one, I don't recall putting this one in there, but it is a rougher black one, and I got the smooth one in the other one. So I'm just going through them as I'm opening here. This is a rag vellum, which feels pretty smooth too, and this is a Coventry rag. So I'm excited to try these three out. Now I'm going to unbox. I'm going to put that black aside because I'm not really as excited about that one. Let's see. Hi, Marty. Welcome. We're sampling papers out, and I'm going to demo on them. I'm going to use my black PanPastel and some colors. Fingers crossed for a live at Golden. Thank you, hun. My husband's so sweet. I hope that really works out. I'm going to bring some equipment, but I don't know if I'll be able to get as dialed in. Even if I'm going from my phone, it would be really fun. So we'll definitely see how that goes. So here's like what it is. So you open up this one that I'm excited about. So this is the black collection, and they have like this beautiful display, and then you can just pull them out. I love the little container. So you guys get to experience this with me, right? Like, so you can go check them all out, but I just kind of want to see the possibilities of doing some white pastel on this, and I wouldn't seal it or fix it, I'd frame it. So if I go that route. Now, this is the Arches cover. It's in a black. They have this shimmer, which I don't know what that would be like, but they have a few here that seem smooth. This is a color plan for more marker, so I'm going to put that in the yes pile. The ebony is in the yes pile. This Blackbird is super smooth. And this pitch black, you know I always love stuff that's pitch black. And this is a mirror card. They just gave all the samples in here. I'm not going to really do much with that. So trying to get in the frame here. So all of these have potential. This is a really heavy 2-ply. It's called an RMB. I'm not going to be able to do them all, so I'm going to pick the top ones. This is called a Ciro, a Reeves, A Stonehenge. I've heard good things about Stonehenge. This is a smooth one too. So I'm going to pull this one out for sure. And this is the Aqua, which has texture in it. I think you can kind of see that a little bit. I'm not really up for the texture. The Stonehenge Aqua is right here. This is the cold pressed one that, hot press that I wanted to try. And it's smooth. So that's what I want. And then they have like a mulberry, like an Asian type paper. So I'm pulling these two out. I'm going to put the rest of those back, and then I got the Stonehenge black that I can play with. And then I also got, why not? We'll open these up and we'll see what we're going to get here. This is all the Aqua. So I think they gave me one of those, but I love how they're all like printed on. This one's got quite a bit of texture on it, so I don't know if that's what I want, but I'm really after this Aqua hot press. So the hot press is smooth and the cold press is rough. So they have two of the rough ones, and then it goes into the white, which I'm not as, I have some ideas for that, but for what I want to play with today, I'm just going to pull the one out of here, but I think I have one that's kind of like it. So they have the Stonehenge in the same, but it's in the white. And I'm not really up for watercoloring that and then putting pastel on it. That's what I would rather do on like a UArt paper, and then I can layer up and do that, which I've showed that technique before. So I'm really excited about the black paper. So I got the two of these are the Stonehenge Aquas. So I got one of those I can put aside. Okay, so what I'm thinking about demonstrating is playing with these whites and getting kind of warmed up with one of them and seeing how they take the eraser method that I've demonstrated before, and maybe just move through a couple of them here. So I might even like pull back a little bit and then maybe just display them up, or just go through each one. I might just do that. I might just go through each one. The one I'm really excited about is this Lennox. So I'm gonna put this one up. I'm not gonna get fancy. I'm just gonna, because I gotta be able to move through them. And I'm not gonna do anything too deep. But this Lennox, I saw a woman do a really large one color piece in it. So you can use PanPastel in one color. You can do whatever you really want. I'm not about layering on a paper like this. Now the layering comes when I use a sanded paper like my UArt 600 or UArt 800. That's where you get the layering with PanPastel. What I'm after with this is to see how the erasers and the black PanPastel, because I do like kind of a charcoal method, react on this paper. And that's what I'm gonna work through here and kind of test out each one. And I think that'll be fun. Let's see. All right, well, I've got quite a few of you here. I'm excited to have you here. If you have questions, I'm always open to asking questions. Even if they're not on exactly the topic, this is a great way to connect and ask any questions that you might have too. Always open to asking questions. And I would love to hear what you guys are working on. Tell me what you guys have been doing. What are you up to? Would love to, even if you tell me like where you're from or if you're newer here. But I know a lot of you have been here for a while. I got a lot of my OGs here. So my original members here that have been here since the beginning. Always glad that you guys show up. And but yeah, I would love to hear what you guys are up to. So with this, I'm going to take a soft tool, and this is basically a high density foam. And I'm just going to go in with my black and just kind of warm up here and just see what this paper's like and see what it can do. So I'm going to go in light because I'm not sure exactly what it's going to do yet and how dark it's going to be able to go. And I'm not going to really You know, I always like to do an eye, but it's like, it's always kind of nice just to go on with the whole thing too. But we got to warm up, just have some fun here. And then what is fun about this is we can pull with our erasers. And we can even draw with my favorite eraser, which is the Tombow Mono Zero. And you can even draw your piece on here. And then let's just feel like how it feels when I'm working with this here. How does it pull up? Can I push it back and forth is kind of what I'm looking at. Recovering from jet lag. Body wants to still be 6 hours behind. Where were you, Luis? Tell us where you were. I think you were traveling somewhere pretty far. So I'm liking, so far, this feels really smooth, which I like a smooth paper with working with this process, because the reason why is PanPastel is so fine. It's ultra fine. So when I'm working with something that's ultra fine, it really can go into the paper in such a lovely way. And I like the feeling of that. So I'm just going to do my regular eye here, and that's just a great way to test things out because you don't have to think too much. I like how the PanPastel goes on with a little bit more freedom. And does it massage out if I have marks on it, like if I get some textures in there? That's something else I want to look at. And how dark does it go is what I'm looking at too. Can I get that value that I like in there? So a lot of this technique really takes some building up. I have a few classes in my membership that go over this technique if you're interested in going deeper. But it's a beautiful technique and it allows a lot of freedom to learn about value. And I like the idea of being able to go back and forth. So that's another thing that really appeals to me with this technique. Let's see. Oh, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia on a cruise. It was my first time in Asia. Did you have a good time? How did you feel about it? Oh my gosh, that must have been amazing. All right, so now I'm going to go in with some of this eraser here. I love this eraser. So I am going in a little bit longer on this paper. This was the main paper that I wanted to explore. And I'm also trying to get warmed up. So, whoops, just go over that. And to get warmed up, you know, you just got to relax and just have a good time. And you know what I'm missing is my kneaded eraser. That I might have to go grab. So you got to have a kneaded eraser. So I have 3 erasers. I have a white eraser that I love, which is an accurate, well, it's a vanish eraser. I have a kneaded eraser, which is a gentle pull. The white eraser is a little bit stronger of a pull. And so I'll demo those too, because this is the kneaded eraser. And how the kneaded erasers work is that you want to you know, they get dirty. So let me show you a dirty one. This is one that's ready to be thrown away. And this is one that's brand new and fresh. So you can see the differences there. And so with a kneaded eraser, you can shape it and pull up in a really beautiful way that I like to and I'm testing this paper out too. Like, does it allow me to pull up the way I like? Well, an eye is always a safe bet. I just find that they're easy. They're easy to really gauge something. And I like creating them. So the white eraser, that doesn't look white because I've used it for so many things. This one is a harder pull, so I can pull a little bit stronger here and it should pull up. So see how I'm using the paper for my whites? So I'm not using white pastel. And that is what's really cool about this technique, is it's all about erasers. And I like the freedom of it. You can really learn value a lot easier. So now I can kind of test my erasers and see how they're. Yeah, I think this paper is really pretty. Let's see. We did, thank you. We really needed a break. Asia was so different from anything we've seen before. It was very interesting and lots of photos. Oh yes, I would think so. Hi Elizabeth, you might have to watch some of the live again because I went through all the papers, and what we're doing is we're sampling papers that I received from the Legion papers. So Legion is collaborating with the Golden Foundation, and they're giving us, who are doing the residency, some paper samples, and then we're going to pick out some of these paper samples to work on while we're there at the residency. So I thought that would be fun today to kind of be able to do that with you and see what papers I'm wanting to have to play with, because I want to do both techniques while I'm there. And so I really like this one so far. I do find that, you know, to get my white back, it's not maybe as easy, but it's enough. You know, I still feel like I can get that back, and that feels good. Let's see what it feels like to put like a charcoal on it or a carbon pencil, because that's what we're doing, is we're exploring. I gave most of my charcoal pencils away at the retreat I just did in September. So I'm like, oopsie, whoops. I'm just going to use a carbon pencil. So I'm going to sharpen this up. Carbon pencil is a little bit harder, but it's still kind of fun to see, you know, how it might react. Oh, those are fun little eyelashes that it's allowing me to do. And a lot of these papers are drawing papers, so that is fun. I don't like to go in hard on my eyelashes. This carbon pencil works really nice on this paper. So it's fun to kind of be able to see what works and what is, you know, inspiring, right? Like, we got to stay open and just feel it out and see, you know, what speaks to us. And so right now I'm really loving how that carbon pencil and the PanPastel is combining here. So I might move to another paper. Can also put in some of that, get my highlight a little bit stronger here. And then I can even put, this is what I really love, is using this. Now I'm not in for hyperrealism, that's just not my jam. I like to combine a little bit of realism into my work, but I'm all about kind of walking the line of it. So if you followed me for a while, I think you can gauge that, you know, you kind of feel that. So I'm going to pull up just the white in the eye right here. And it's nice to see how much I can go back and forth on it. But I'm not going for perfection here. We'd be here for a lot longer if I was doing that. So I kind of love that. I like the paper, but now let's go try something else. I think I might shift over into a black paper because I really can't wait to kind of play with white on that. And I'll catch up here and chat. All right, we have a Nikki. She just purchased the pastel and cider. She did the 3 mini abstracts and was blown away. The vibrancy of the PanPastels is amazing. Thank you so much. Well, welcome, Nikki. I'm so glad you've joined the Pastel and Cider membership. I'm glad that you're having fun. I think abstracts is the way to go. That I have so many fun abstract classes in there. So it's fun to kind of hear back because some people don't gravitate towards those right away. But actually the abstracts I find are the most freeing and the most powerful in learning some things. So let's see. Dawn, is this paper bendy like the Canson, or is it a bit more flat like the UArt? I don't know what bendy is, but I think it's more flat. I think I know what you mean. I think the Canson has a tendency to warp a little bit, and this feels a lot sturdier. It feels really good. So I'm really impressed with this paper. I think it's definitely going to be the top contender for what I'm going to ask for to work on. I do find the only difference like I've said so far, and I have to use like a white, is getting my whites back up. It stays at about a 3 or what, so I have to be more aware of that when I'm working. But I think that it's very velvety feeling and rich, and I think that outweighs me just having, you know, to be a little bit more aware on my whites, and that's okay because that just takes, you know, a little bit of planning. But so I'm liking that. So I'm going to put this one, I think I'll just put them on the table here, and I will at the end go over kind of what I liked and what I'm kind of, you know, hem-hawing about. So I have, these are the ones I'm going to use. I'll put the stack here of what I'm not going to use over on the side, so we have some space here. So now I'm going to go into 2 of them. I have the Stonehenge Black and the Stonehenge Aqua. I might tape these up together just side by side and play with them together. So I'm kind of excited about these ones. I've been wanting to do a little bit of my technique with white, and I have to go think totally reversed to do that, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. So let's get this in frame here. Take me just a second. Let's see, Dawn. Okay, and then Nikki, I just purchased the full set of pastels and the Stability full set, and all the needless to say, I'm in love. Well, I am so stoked that you came today, Nikki, and shared your experience with the pastel and cider. I mean, of course, I'm gonna love that. I mean, I put a lot of heart and soul into that membership and all of the lessons. We have over, I think I'm at like 80 something lessons and classes in there. You know, some of the classes have multiple lessons in them. So, you know, being able to, oh, I realized I didn't do my intro thing about putting a question mark, but that's okay. So I'm going to put my pastel link in there since Nikki brought it up, just in case anyone's interested. And I will put that into chat if it lets me. Oh, I have to do it on my phone. So it's so crazy. I think it's because my computer is so old that I can't put type links on it because I'm using my old computer. So it's kind of crazy. So I have to do it all on my phone now. But I kind of want to keep the old computer because I don't have to move it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to put this in there and I'll pin it to the top. But I'm just so glad that you enjoy it. And thank you, Nikki, for taking the time to come here and share how you're feeling. And of course, if you ever need any help, feel free to email me at art@dawnvanderstoep.com. Let's see here. Michelle says, congrats on having the full set, and it sounds like you're setting yourself up for success. Yes, she sure does, Michelle. Michelle's a Pastel Insider member too. So yeah, that's wonderful. Marjorie's here. Welcome from the Netherlands. I will look further on tomorrow. Yeah, it's always late in the Netherlands, Marjorie, but I'm so glad that you popped in and said hi. We're just sampling papers here. I always love to explore with you guys. So I'm easing into my week. You know, getting back into the studio, getting back into creating is not easy. How many of you that are watching today find transitioning into starting something new can be a little difficult? There's got to be some hands up from some of you guys out there. I know there's 30 of you on today, so raise your hand in chat or give me an emoji, whatever. If you find it challenging sometimes to transition into something new. I always love talking about that. So let's see here. We got this one. I'm just going to move my camera over. Oh, there's the hands. They're rising. We got people that are challenging and getting something new started. I'm with you. I always love to kind of share what helps me to hopefully inspire you, because, you know, being an artist and a creative is kind of a lonely journey. And a lot of our emotions go into play when we are being creative. And I've been learning how to kind of overcome some of the obstacles that can rear their ugly head at getting me into creative mode. Oh, we got quite a few of you here. We got Michelle's got her hand up. Louise, Nikki says yes. Kelly's, she's got 3 hands up. So does Louise. Holly says yes. Loretta. Yeah, it's definitely, I think, a common issue with being a creative. And I'll just share a little bit today of how I've been kind of, doing it for myself, that may be something that you might have a little bit of a takeaway when you leave. And one of the things that I always like to talk about, and I'm just going to start kind of working in here with this white and playing around with it. I have the Stonehenge Aqua. This is a hot press. It's 140 pound. These are papers from Legion. And this is a Stonehenge Black. And this is not a watercolor paper. And this is a real smooth. So they're both really smooth. I think the hardest part is trying to put on paper what is in my head. Well, a lot of times that can be challenging because we put a lot of expectations on ourselves when we're getting started. So one of the things that I find can be really helpful is not putting a lot of expectations and just showing up. Now, with this white, you have to think in reverse. So doing an eye is kind of interesting. I might put this down like this and then erase in the black. Let's see what that feels like. But one of the things I find is just showing up and playing, even if it's scribbling. Think about your art studio and your materials as a living, energetic thing. And when you want to go in and start working with them, I believe you have to wake them up, right? Like, wake them up, reconnect with them, talk to them. I seriously, it works. It's like, you got to reconnect because you got to create some momentum. And going in hard and expecting to do like a big piece or something that's, jaw-dropping for yourself or that you feel great about is not really a great expectation to go in first. So if you've been away from the studio for a while and you haven't created, just ease in. Like for instance, if some of you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen it. But like yesterday I said, you know what? I'm going to just spend time easing in to play. And I go in with it with an idea of play. Now, this isn't anything I really planned out too much. I just wanted to play with that Canson. Now, I heard it's not pronounced mi atentes. It's like mi taunts or something. So I pronounced it wrong and they didn't tell me. So when I did that video, I was like, what? It's pronounced wrong? So I don't have the right pronouncing because it's French. But I had a really good time with this, and I just was like a kid. I said, I don't care. I'm going to play. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to explore. I had a really good time with some scratches. I made up thick little applications, and I just didn't care if it turned out to anything or not. Now, I highly suggest even just scribbling with a pencil on paper is even an energetic, jump starter. Because if you're waiting to be inspired before you show up, then most of the time it's just not going to happen, because you have to be working for it to show up. Like, that's a famous quote from like Picasso or something. So, if you're not, it needs to find you working. It needs to find you like moving things around. So sometimes I tell that inner child that it just needs to bugger off, and we're going in the studio and we're just going to scribble. Like, that's real, guys. Even for someone like me who's a full-time creative, I am going to have my own struggles with showing up. So what I've learned is just to ease into those things and be gentle on myself. So I've never created on the black paper. This is, of course, a little raw and awkward, but I'm not trying to really be perfect. But what's interesting with it is I have to reverse. So I'm not sure if I'm even going to like this. So I'm going to try and see what it's like to reverse on it. What is that like? I probably have to use a little bit more of a kneaded eraser for this technique and pull gently, which is interesting. Or I'd actually have to be thinking in a way where I'm going in reverse. So I'm not sure. This is the Stonehenge black. If, I might have to have more of a thought process when, like thinking ahead a little bit more with this, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to play a little bit and just see what happens. Because sometimes just play can surprise you. Now, it doesn't look like it's as easy to get back my black. I'm just playing and seeing, though. The white eraser doesn't look white, but it is white, is a little bit better at that. And I can get a little bit looser and then come back and touch it up with things. So, like, say we loosen this up a bit, take it down. And, I'm not going for perfection, like I said. I'm just testing a paper out. An eye is a great one. And I'm always like, oh, God, they're going to see me paint another eye. But you know what? It's real, man. This is how I test the papers out. So you almost have to go into highlight mode. And maybe less white on the wand. Now, this can play tricks on your brain, because I am not used to going from light, from using light and go on the dark. So I don't know if I would have to like play with this for a while and just see how it works. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to get a highlight in there. Let's see. Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, Tartlet. Tartlet Arts here. Welcome. I don't think you've come into chat before. Just followed on Instagram. Oh, yeah. If you guys want to see more behind the scenes, kind of in process, I do a lot of stories. I love stories. Those are kind of my fave. And I post all my finished pieces on Instagram all the time, like more in real time. And then Facebook, I have to kind of wait sometimes, like my personal Facebook, because of the auction. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting way to work. So I have to kind of ease into it. Like, look, I got to be a little bit more slower and think about that. And then I could go up here. This has potential. This definitely would be fun to do a big piece on black paper. I think it would be a lot of fun. And then I can go, you know what would be really cool? So this is where you get your, I'm showing up and now I'm getting kind of ideas like, oh, what can I do with that? I have a white charcoal pencil maybe in here. Let's see. Well, I know I got a water soluble, but that's not really what I want. And I got a China marker. I thought I had a white charcoal. Oh, I bet you it's in my little zipper pouch where that is. No one, oh, I think it's in the middle drawer. There it is. I don't know if I can get it out. I'm coming. I think I shoved it in here because I wanted to use it on a trip. Now my arm's gonna get like stuck in there. I'll be right there. Talk amongst yourselves. I want this pencil. Okay, I got I'm getting it. All right. Got my unicorn pouch. Always be yourself. Unless you can be a unicorn, then be a unicorn. So I think it's in here. All that work for nothing if it's not. Nope. All right, well, we'll just use this water-soluble one. Let's just see what that's like. I won't be able to erase it, though, once I put it in. So it would be great for details at the end, just like a pencil. So I think I'm going to be conservative and go in here and just do my line with my PanPastel. And then push and pull, even though I just spent that time to get that pencil. But see the potential of that? And I bet you I can use a black wand and kind of go back and forth. Yeah. So this is the black PanPastel, and that's going to allow me to kind of shade. So I could just use the range on it. Okay, I like doing that. I like doing the both. That feels a little bit more natural. So I'm going to touch over here onto this, or I'm going to be doing a lot of eyes. Let's see. Oh, Michelle, thanks for cheering everyone on. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have like almost 40 of you in here, 35. I would love if you hit the like button just right now. Even if you don't know me, you've never met me before, you come onto the channel, if you get anything out of this video, I would really love for you to hit the like button. It really helps my channel grow. And it's just, it's free. It's free. So, all right. So I've got kind of something, I get caught up, as you can see, I got really excited about this one. It was fun. It was awkward at first, but now I'm going to do this on the aqua and see if it's any different. So I'm just going to kind of go on the same and do that really quick. Maybe not go as deep on the eye, but I kind of like just going over it with a little bit here and then pulling it, and we'll see what that feels like. And now you're like, oh my gosh, see, I do all these eyes, and I've done hundreds of eyes, and that's why I can do an eye, you know. It's like, I'm going to do a quick one. Get a little bit more sketchy in here. Loosen up. That is a big, see, and you can just make changes. Like, look at this. Oh, maybe the eye's too big. I can just erase and then make the eye not as much of a big eye, you know. Get my pupil in there. And then let's see what this feels like. So I'm going to start pulling this. This is pulling about the same so far. Now I like my shadow to really touch down onto the iris, the pupil. And everyone's always like, it looks so bad in the beginning, but it's kind of fun to do the journey, right? Like, that came from this whole idea. So I'm okay that it's a little crooked. We're just sampling. We're just playing. This is my Mono Zero eraser that I love. I like getting that pattern in there. And like I said, if you like this technique and you want to go deep, I have like some owls, I have birds, I have some women, and it's a lot of fun to do this technique. And I have those lessons in my Pastel Insider. But it's fun to kind of give you guys a taste of the technique. I haven't done anything on the black paper like this. But you know, what I'm excited about is going to this golden residency is a lot of the things that I will explore, and my whole goal is to really go there with an open mind like a child and be really open to some of the opportunities of exploration there. Because, you know, I can do my style anytime at home, but I want to kind of play around and see what I might be able to learn and explore, and then I can bring that back and share it with my community and my membership and you guys. So it's kind of exciting to just go in with that attitude and where is it going to lead me, right? I'm using the black here to kind of refine. I do like that. I like kind of going back and forth with the black with it. And it looks like both of these papers are really strong, like strong contenders. They're both really smooth. Yeah, and I like the smoothness. It's just a nice break from the sanded paper. Because as I've told you, this is really different from my main technique. I think on the white papers, the next ones I'm going to try, I'm going to use some different colors. I don't use anything above the core color, because then you go into whites and tints, and I want to use the paper as my whites. So yeah, I think this one does really well too. And I almost think it might give and take a little bit more than my other one. Oh, my phone went to sleep. Let's see. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. Let's see. The aqua. What were you saying, Michelle? Oh, the aqua looks darker. Does it look darker? It does look darker. I think you're right. I think it might be the best of the worlds, you know? Like, you don't have to put water on aqua paper. That's the thing we got to remember. We get to do whatever we want to do, right? Like, let's see what it's like getting rid of some edges. This is just a kneaded eraser. The paper seems to take that really well. Let's see what the paper does with like the white eraser. This is a white eraser, I promise. Let's get our little shadow underneath the eye. I think working in this reverse would be really fun for my brain. I really like challenging my brain that way. And then we can... Gosh, my husband and I were watching this show, that it's the tattoo show. God, what's the one called? I know there's someone out there that might know it. Maybe Laura's in the house. Laura, what's the tattoo show that's going on right now? It's the competition. Well, I love watching the tattoo competitions. I don't have a tattoo, but I just love it. And right now, the last episode we watched, they were doing it was something where they did a whole bunch of images and they had to see how many tattoos they could do within, 12 hours. And that's what I feel like I'm doing with these eyes right now. But I really like the give and take that it has. So this was pretty successful, and I like how it blends in. Like, I can get some really good edges that aren't harsh, like it doesn't stick in the paper, and it pulls really nice. So you see how I just pulled that edge away. That was really nice. I don't know if that's the same on this one. Let me see. I feel like they're very similar. Let me push this back again. Wipe it off and then pull. That pulls pretty good. I'm going to wipe this and then I'm pulling. Yep, this one pulls really nicely too. So pulling is where I'm pulling the white off. And then I could go in with an eraser and create some textures. So that's a lot of fun. So far, I'm loving those two. That I could work with either one, but like Michelle said, thank you, Michelle, I really like the aqua one because it's darker. So I'm going to order that one and tell them. And I'm hoping if I don't do a live when I'm at the Golden residency, I will do stories because I think the stories, and then what I can do is do a thread in Instagram, like a highlight where it'll show all my stories from Golden, because they've already said I can post and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing. So follow me on Instagram if you want to guarantee seeing that. I might be able to share some of them. Maybe I'll do a whole reel or something, and then I can post that on YouTube too. So, all right. So we've got the two Stonehenges. And then let me see here. Dawn, you're never too old to get one. One of my sisters is 59 and she's got, oh, the tattoos. Yes, some amazing tattoos over the last year. She found her daughter's tattoo has suited her style and designs to which, yeah, I definitely want to get one someday. I'll probably just start small. I keep thinking I want a full sleeve, but that's not really realistic to start off on. So which one do you guys like? I would love to know, do you like the Stonehenge black or do you like the aqua? Do you have an opinion? I'm really curious to see which one that you like, and I will, so you like this one on the left, Michelle. She likes the darker one. And then I will set up for the next paper and we'll do one in kind of a color and see what that's like. I haven't really played with that. I'm just going to use like a one color, like a blue or something. So I think that would be fun. Well, Michelle, I appreciate you telling me which one you like. Come on, you guys. We got almost 40 of you out there. Do I need to do a poll? Let's see. War brand is the aqua. Oh, which brand is the aqua one? This one's the aqua one right here. It's the aqua, and that's Stonehenge. And so these papers are by Legion. And I'm hoping to share this live stream with them because to me, I'm just super grateful that they're going to be that they gave me these samples to play with. And this one's just a regular Stonehenge. So this is the aqua and this one's the Stonehenge. So you got to pick which one you think, which one you guys like the best. Okay, the aqua. Karen says the aqua. Is it Marjol? Well, I'm just going to call her Marge. She was asking which one. The darker paper gives a stronger presence, but the other one offers a more misty appearance. Oh, I like how you kind of worded that, Kelly. That's good. Somehow I think you'd make anything look good. I like the dark one, says Holly. Well, that's an awfully, kind compliment. Thank you, Holly. Loretta says, I like the detail and the subtle detail of the Stonehenge black better. Like this is a little bit more subtle. EM Designs says aqua. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys giving me some feedback on there. We're going to go into the next paper. And here's the thing before I switch in there is those subtle differences that all of you have different impressions on and what you like and maybe, what you take away from the piece is what I love about really staying open with the exploration of papers, because even when I'm doing all my sanded paper that takes all the layers and the colors and all of that, I'm really trying to be open. And so I went, I'm a huge UArt 600 dark fan. I work on dark paper all the time when it comes to full color. And so it's funny how I was like, oh, I got to think a little different here, because when I do this technique, I'm always doing it on a white paper. So this is a different technique, but I'm trying to stay open with the UArt paper, because like I was just sharing with all of you guys at a different live stream, was I did that reel with Blick for the Canson Mi Tentes paper. I call it Mi Tentes. I'm not pronouncing it right, but I've been really enjoying the paper, and that's this one. If any, you know, it's hard to pronounce that, but it's a really black paper, and that's what I did this abstract on. But I mainly work on the UArt paper, which offers more flexibility in a lot of ways for my lessons and my classes and my teaching. But it's fun to try something new. And I think if I would have been like 5 years ago, maybe, yeah, about 5, you know, years ago, I would have been really rigid. I would have been like, nope, this is the paper. I'm only using this one. So it's been kind of, I've been really enjoying being more flexible with my own, you know, process and stuff too, and just exploring. And I think you kind of get to a point too where you want to explore a little bit more. All right, so that's 3 eyes down. I'm going to go into this other two papers. I have a Coventry rag vellum. This is a little brighter, so I'm going to take my brightness down until I get something more on there so you can see it. And this is a Coventry white smooth. So I might put these up like this and play with them. Welcome everybody. If you just got here, I got quite a few of you rolling in. If you just got here, I am sampling papers from Legion papers that they gave me to try out with this black PanPastel or dark PanPastel technique. We're moving to a dark PanPastel, and I am trying to see which ones I want to get samples for to play with. So that's what I'm working on, and I thought I would take you guys on the journey today, because this is real. This is what I'd have to do all by myself, and that would be kind of lonely. So now I've got these up. I'm going to tape them up, and I'm just going to keep doing eyes because it's easy and they are consistent. Oh, whoops, I've kind of lost my chat here. Just a second. Get it to real time. Let's see. Oh, I don't even know how much the papers are, you guys. Like, I don't know at all. But, you know, it comes in probably different sizes. Like, I would cut it down and use it small. But if you are just starting out, the Canson paper is a great paper for just starting out. This is what I teach all my classes on, my lessons and everything. It's a mixed media paper. It's very approachable for cost. And I do all the different techniques. I don't think I have, and this is a brand new one. But I do the same technique, but I use the back side of it. And this is what I use for all my lessons. So this is a reasonable, you know, totally affordable. I'm thinking these are definitely more high end. So that's why I'm trying them out, and I kind of want to play with them for my own personal, or just sharing with you guys if you want to try something new on your journey. So I got these taped up. This is the rag vellum white, and we will see how these feel. Let's see. The Canson Velvet Black is fantastic. I did a lot of animal drawings on it. Also a white dog. Oh, well, I find it's really different to use. It's not a paper that the pastel floats on it as much, and I'm really used to that on the UArt. But I really enjoy some of the the characteristics of it. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to try the rag, and I'm thinking I might go in with a little bit of, I'm going to use one of my bigger sponges and just play with that really quick. I have a whole bunch of these different sponges, and I'm just going to grab one. I love my soft tools. These are made out of high density foam. Golden has just switched them to be gray, which I think I prefer. I'm going to use this finger one, and I'm just going to go in kind of light here and dab it off. Oh, I was going to do color. I almost forgot. I'll do a blue one. I thought I would kind of like just using the finger in here, but I'm gonna change my wand out because I forgot I was doing color already. Now the color can be a little tricky. These is an extra dark. I still might want to mix some black in there, but it's basically the core color with black in it. So this is the I can't think right now, the phthalo blue extra dark, and I'm just going to go in here. And I'm just going to do the same thing over here just so I can get a full feeling. But I've used the same Canson extra large paper for over 7 years. So to give you guys a little bit of perspective, you know, that's a long time using just one type of paper. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is just to kind of share this exploration with you, because you just never know here. So I'm just going to go do how I've been doing it. It looks a little light. Let me change my... That's about what it looks like. There we go. Let me catch up on chat. I don't wash them, kind. Thank you for coming in to chat. Hello. I don't wash the tools. I used to when I started out. And then I'm using the tools so much that when I go through them and how I use them, they wear out faster than I would want to wash them. So I usually will use one tool, and I don't, I used to go through the fuss of all that, and then I realized a lot of times too is I just don't, oh, this one's harder to come up. It just became where it wasn't worth it for me. Chat is busy now. I like that. Oh, she wants this artistic wanderings coming in. She wants to see how two things blend. Well, I want you to know that this is not the paper I normally use for doing full color. So I'm only using one color because I'm actually using the paper as my highlight. When I work in full color, I am using a sanded pastel paper or a pastel paper that's made specifically, like Clairefontaine matte or this Mi-Teintes paper, and that is specifically made for full color. This will not allow you to do a lot of layers, but like if I wanted to blend the white and the blue, my wand's kind of dirty right now. Let me get a different wand. They will blend together with these and blend out, but they'll make kind of a violet. But this is not a paper meant to layer up a ton because it's a different technique. So if you want to see the blending and stuff like that, I have a few other lives in there. I have an application video. And if you go click under my live stream, you will see that I have all of the lives that you can go watch too. And I also have a free introduction to PanPastel available on my website. So if you go there, this is the thing's a little bit darker. I have this enchanted mushroom, and it is a full introductory course, class on what paper I use, how to blend, how to mix some basic colors. And you can just go to my website and it'll pop up and sign up for my newsletter, and then you'll get a link to join the free library. And I will put that here in chat here in just a moment, and then you can go check that out if you are new. It is a great way to get started with PanPastel, even if you don't have the supplies to go watch it, because then you can check it out and see what it's like. And then I also have the live streams. But this is a full, you get a color list, you get a mini guide, you get a all my recommended colors to get started, the pencils that I recommend. So it's a full-on get you started with PanPastel. So definitely go check this out if you have a moment. I will put it into chat here real quick, and so you can go get it easier. Let's see here. Thanks for waiting, guys. All right. And now my window is, come on. I'll just hit YouTube. There we go. All right, so I'm going to paste this in the chat. All right. Tarla says, Dawn, have you ever used bristle brushes to apply? Yeah, I've tried all of that. It all depends what you're doing. So this paper is a whole different process. Like I've said, I have to say that a lot during a process because a lot of new people get confused. And so this is more like charcoal. And so I have tried like a soft, like actually a pastel brush to apply. I've seen many artists do that. It's too fussy for me. I really love the wands. Once you get past the newness of it, the wands really feel like paintbrushes to me. So yeah, what I can suggest for you guys is if you're curious, just to explore, try things out, you know, see what kind of speaks to you. And right now I'm just trying out these different papers with the techniques to see what I like and what feels right. So I'm not out for perfection. I'm just out for kind of like testing, and I'm taking you along the ride here. So I'm going to hopefully be able to pick a couple of these and play with them when I go to golden. Let's see. I want to make sure I've gotten everyone's things. Let me see here. Okay, Michelle, I'm a bit confused through the black Stonehenge Aqua. How would you use it watercolor on black and have it show up? Michelle, I think that's maybe gouache. People use gouache with it, and people would use iridescence with it. So those are two options with the black aqua. I think you could also use maybe even some like liquid acrylics that are watered down quite a bit and layer on that. That could be interesting. So there's definitely some options. It's different though. It wouldn't be the same by any means, you know, it would be different. So I'm liking how these two are feeling too so far. I got a big eye and a little eye, which that's fine. I'm just going in here and laying down and seeing how that feels. This one's a little grippier, and this one says it's smooth. It's a rag, and this is a vellum. Now vellum usually is smoother than any type of other paper. So just gonna go in here and get my values in. Promise that they will look like eyes. And you know, you got to sit through, I call this the uncomfortable stage. And they just don't look right, and they will. It's just we got to be patient, you know? Patient with the process. And so you can use, I was going to use the red, but I think I'm just going to do this blue today. But see how the blue is a lot like the black. It's just, you know, we've got color now. And with this, if I'm using the whites of the paper to bring my highlights in, then I can do have a lot more options with this. But I can't layer multiple layers or put, you know, I can probably put colors on fine, but I wouldn't go into anything above a core color. So I do want to play with that a little bit more, but I'm not going to be into layering heavily because this paper won't take a layer that heavy. So now I can go in here. Let me get this side in. Get in underneath the eye here. Just getting my values in. Got to have something to contrast this against or it's going to not be there. All right, then I'm going to start pulling. My favorite part. Put a little bit more dark up here. It's all about the superpower of value. I talk a lot about this in my lessons. Value is very impactful. So if you want to level up your art, really focusing on value is key. And I have a value scale that I give away in the free lesson library that will get you started with your own value. And I talk a lot about it. So all right, so now I can pull this up and now let's test out the erasers and let me catch up with chat here. Okay, for peeps not in the US, Jackson's Art has awesome Black Friday deal on the 60 box Carbothello pencils. That is a great thing to put out there because there's a lot of people not in the US for that tart. So I'm really grateful for that. So thanks for doing that. The Canson Velvet Black, I already read that, so I'm caught up on that one. All right, I showed you that blending. I realize we're using pans, but if it's watercolor, I think I answered that. Yeah, Kelly answered that too. Was on my TV, so I couldn't comment. I don't think anyone said Ink Masters. Yes, Chrisella. Thank you, Ink Masters. That's the thing. They did a kind of a challenge where they had to make as many tattoos in 12 hours on people, and then they had to appeal to them. I can't remember the name of the challenge, but that's what I feel like I'm doing, the eyeball challenge. But it really helps to just do something like this because you start really getting a feel of how something's working. So really take in this stage, guys, because this is like a stage that a lot of people give up on. Like, they're like, I'm out. I can't do an eye, man. I can't do an eye. And you just have to realize it just takes time to kind of build up the layers and to play here. So I have these different erasers like I've talked about. The kneaded eraser is going to be a softer pull. So I'm going to go in and pull. I'm shaping it and I'm going to pull up some of this eye and see how that pulls. It's like, does it hold on or does it let me pull it up? That's what I'm looking for. I'm also looking, you know, just, yeah, being able to get how far white can I go back again? So that's what's fun about this technique is the pulling. I really love it. It's very meditative. And I haven't really done a lot with just one color, like using this ultramarine. I'm not ultramarine. I always use ultramarine. This is what's different. My phthalo blue. It's just kind of playing with that too. Okay, and then I could go back and hit those darks again. Because you want to get your values really in there and it's going to pop. So now I'm going to put that highlight in and everything's going to come to life on that one. So I can pull this white a little bit on the eyes. So I cut up these white erasers, the big chunky ones into different shapes so I can use them. That reminds me I got to put erasers in my stash when I head out on my trip. I have to start packing this weekend. So you can see how I'm just slowly pulling these back up in the whites. And the fun thing is I can go back and forth. Okay. And then I can pull some of this with the kneaded eraser on the sides. And then I'll work on this one in just a second. So I'm going to put that highlight in. Now, the pen is not as strong as the white eraser, but I can get it started. And have a little bit more of a thing. I can use on this paper too. I like using like a brush to kind of wash my little, you know, get my little sediment out of the way. So this white eraser is going to be a little stronger. Let's see if it pulls that white out even more. And it does. This paper really pulls well. I can't tell if I like it better than the Lennox yet, but I will say on this one I'm getting a little bit more of maybe about the same of the whites back, but my phone keeps falling asleep. Okay, I always love it when I get that highlight in. That feels really good. And then I can go wipe off my wand here and I can play with some of those transitions and the shadows and smooth them out a bit. So this is definitely a great technique to just really hone in on your values. So as you can see right here, I can brush this off and I just use any type of brush that I have. So now I can go over here and test this one out really quick, but I'm going to check chat here real quick. Opaque watercolor. Yep. Did Michelle come back in? Oh, okay, thanks, artist. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys helped out too with that. Artistic, I've done mushroom lesson. Your teaching is excellent. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you've done that lesson. Well, I'm sure, were you just curious about blending on this paper? Because, you know, I'm blending just going in between values. So there's all types of different blendings on there. Tartlet says, Dawn, have you ever, okay, I did that one, sorry. Maybe you will do a free one. Marge says, maybe I will do the free one tomorrow. I have lots of PanPastels, but I use them for backgrounds and layers only. Well, I hope you'll try it. Definitely go check it out. You don't need a credit card or anything. It's just, it's free access once you join that area, but you have to join the newsletter and that. Let's see. Amazon also has some of these papers on special for Black Friday in Australia. Oh, the Legion papers? That's cool. Looks like they are just over $2 a sheet of 9 by 12 at the moment. But, you know, you think about it, if you're doing a finished piece, you know, if you want to play on the Canson to try out an idea. And I use the back of the Canson extra large. And then what I like is then I can go in with my idea and now go into a high-end paper and play with that too. Not to say, you know, Canson, I sell work on Canson, but a more expensive paper if you want to try it. You can always try it out on the Canson and then go in. So I'm going to do this one really quick and see if I feel any different. I'm going in with that white eraser, and so far I don't really see a lot of difference in these three papers to where I would be like, oh, I'm not going to use one versus the other. Like, I don't even know yet like which one I would love the most. This one's actually pulling quite easy. Like, it took all my lines out. And this is the vellum. But then up here it's a little different. Pull out underneath the eye, and then we got that little shadow underneath the eye. I mean, there's just something really liberating about creating with erasers. There's so much freedom in it. I just love it. And one little move can really change the look of a piece. That one almost looks like it's looking up a little bit. So far, I'm kind of loving all 3 of these. I do think this one has a little bit more of a softer, buttery feel, like look to it, which I love. Like I can really carve in here. Let's see what this feels like. How many of you have tried the black PanPastel technique that are in chat today? Raise your hand if you've tried using one color on just a mixed media paper or something like that. I know there's a few of you there. I also like to pull around the colors to get the shape of the area too. Yeah, Jonas, that is, it's definitely, you're just trying to feel it out. It feels very much more intuitive. I love that feeling. It's just really fun. I'm glad you're here, Jonas. Welcome. I didn't even say hi to you. So glad that you're here. I'm glad you joined my Facebook group. Nice to see you posting work in there. Michelle posted a new piece in there today. Love your spirit guides. But you can see how you can go back and forth and soften things and blur things. Like I can go over here and soften the underneath this eye if I wanted to and get a whole different look. I mean, there's just so much flexibility in this technique. And that's why, you know, I keep doing it, because I want to explore and I don't want to feel, you know, limited. There's a lot of freedom in trying new papers and new techniques. And I like to, my whole goal, I guess what motivates me is, my whole goal is taking soft pastel and demystifying it and also pushing it to all of its limits. Because I have a mixed media background. So with that, I like to really test the limits of the medium, because a lot of people think pastel is such a fragile, gentle, you know, it'll get destroyed, or it's just so, you know, you have to treat it differently, and there's really not that much difference to it. And some things, most of it's just, you know, some of it has to be framed, you know, a lot of it has to be framed, but like this one, you can get away without framing it with some other options, you know, different ideas for mixed media that I've done. I have done like a fixative over this, and then you do a few layers of that. And then I do, I have a class that shows how I do it all in my Simply Magic 2. And you mount it, and then I wax seal it with Dorlands, and I've also done some of the golden sealers on that. So there, with this one color, you can do a lot of different options with that. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and see how I can just go back and forth, and I can, you know, change the pupil to where that looks more surprised. You know, there's just so much you can do in here and play. And it's just an eye. That's what's kind of crazy, right? Like, say I wanted those dashes back in there, I can just go and put that high, you know, value back in, and then I can pull it and then get my textures back. Now, sometimes if you cover it a few times, you won't get the same pull again. But I like putting that little pattern in the eye. It's just kind of fun. But see, if I go, oh my gosh, that eye, it's too big now. It's just so easy to go fix it. I can just, you know, make it smaller and make adjustments. And you can get really up close and fussy and finicky, and you can go into perfectionism. You can do all kinds of you want. It's just like drawing, and just like charcoal. I find that charcoal really permeates the paper. Really, it's permanent. You have to pull it, and it can be really a struggle where people would then want to put gesso in or all that. And with this PanPastel, it's so soft and so gentle that you really get this push and pull happiness that I like. I like being able to push and pull it and not feel like it's stuck. That makes me happy. So And that's what gravitates me towards it. So you can see I have two different eyes there. I'm going to catch up on chat here. Hopefully I don't have any on my face. Let's see. Just one rosebud with black PanPastel on multimedia paper. What did I miss? Okay. Yes, blending on this paper, how would it look? Like between some of the PanPastel colors, is that what you're thinking? I just bought a roll of your art paper. I just like working with more than one color on paper and wanted to see what multiple colors would be like with this technique on this type of paper. Well, I will do that. I have a few minutes for that, and I've been wanting to explore the darker colors. I'll do the next one where we can put some colors in there, and I'll do a full, I'll try a full color eye and see what that looks like, since we're just sticking with the eye. So you bought a roll of the UArt paper, so you're in for a few years on that. I only buy one every few years. Let's see. Okay, so you've worked with the rosebud and the black PanPastel and the multimedia. Okay. And Crisella's tried it. Gammy's tried it. This is your first time in chat, Gammy. Nice that you've joined us. Hello. That's the only way I've tried it so far. I've been too timid to try the colors this year. The black PanPastel with the Canson is so accessible, and the erasers is so rewarding. Well, Holly, if you have the PanPastels, the colors, don't be timid. We got to start somewhere. You have to be willing to go through where it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look maybe exactly like the one I'm teaching, but what you should be really proud of is that you're showing up, pushing yourself, and trying. And we all have to start somewhere, right? And the mushroom is a great way to start with the lesson that I've put up here. I'm going to pin that really quick so you guys can access that. If you've gone through chat, it's going to be on the top there. Let's see. Let's see. I have just ordered the Canson mixed media paper. It will come tomorrow, so I can start to do more with the PanPastels. Well, just remember, Marge, I'm just using this is a different technique, and I'm using basically one color with it, and the paper is the highlight. That's a whole different process. Okay, let's see. Sandy, are you saying you like the left one? This one? Okay. I rewatched this evening. I am ready. I got my UArt paper set up, my easel, a few more PanPastels and pastel. So this is C and B. Well, hi, C and B. Are you going to try a lesson? What are you going to try first? I just updated my YouTube. Lynn Ellis. Oh, hi, Lynn. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are. I see your name at the end now, Lynn. They have changed the things where we have to have our original names on the YouTube. So, okay. All right, she's just saying hi to people. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears, and I will grab a couple of the colors and just show you what it would be like. We'll just explore that. I haven't really done a lot of that, but I'm going to grab my browns. I think I'll just use this. Get my burnt sienna family here. Of course, it's at the bottom. So with the burnt sienna, I keep all my PanPastels in these trays, and I organize them, and then I curate what I'm going to use. I don't just pull everything up here. So if I'm going to curate, then I'm going to grab what I'm going to play with. Now, what I'm talking about is anything on that this is a core color. So anything that's a core color is going to just say the color's name. It won't say light, it won't say medium, it won't say dark, it won't say extra dark. It'll just say burnt sienna. So anything on the core color down wouldn't necessarily be as affected by a fixative and stuff like that. So if I was to explore on, not being able to really layer as much on this type of paper, and that's what I don't want people to go, is have this be their first experience and think this is it. So I'm going to say it multiple times. This is not a layering type of technique. If you want to do the layering, I show you how to do that on the sanded pastel paper. Paper makes your whole experience of the medium. So don't discount paper. Paper is everything. If I always ask, what do you think is the most important supply? People think it's my PanPastels, and I'm like, no, it's my paper. The UART 600 paper allows me to do what I do. I researched that paper. It took me years to find it. All my lessons in my Pastel Insider, except for my black PanPastel, my one color, are on that paper. So this is why paper is so important. And so I'm going to put up the burnt sienna in here, and I will grab a little bit of vermilion. And then we'll play with that. And then I'll grab a green. I usually have these all behind me, but I don't put them all behind me when I'm not doing a full color piece because I don't want that to be confused. Can you tell I've had a lot of confusion? That's why I have to talk about it a lot. It's just people get really confused. Okay, so I'm not going to use anything that's above a core color. That is because those all have white in them. This is vermilion, and then we will put, so this is a vermilion shade. This is a burnt sienna shade. And those two, I'm not going to use any white, and I'm not going to use these guys. So I'm going to pull these guys right now. And then let's see, I'm just going to go underneath this one, or I might go back onto this one. I'm going to go back onto this one and play with it. So these two were the Coventry Rag White Smooth, Coventry Rag Vellum White. And now Blick, I think, has these papers on their website too. I know they have the Lennox, and the Lennox was the one I was really thinking about. So I'm going to put this up here like this. If you're in chat, feel free to ask questions. If you haven't watched from the beginning, I definitely suggest watching from the beginning because this is a journey of testing out papers that I've received from Legion Papers that I'm really grateful and excited about. Getting ready to head off to the residency at Golden, and I need to get these tested out before I leave so they're going to give us samples. So I'm changing my wand because when you're working on a white paper, you don't want your wand to have blues in it, because even if I wash those sponges, I'll use the sponges for something else, but it will still hold some residue on it. All right, let me see. Oh, C&B, you're going to do the mushroom and the Cosmic Creations. Oh, awesome. Cosmic Creations is one of my favorite classes. It's a great intro, fun class. So I hope you have a great time. Okay, I'm glad that you got all the supplies. I like saying color does the job, value is the king. Oh, good job there, Jonas. I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with the color here and play around and see what this kind of unfolds here. I'm going to go in with the burnt sienna. And I'm just going to go in and kind of get an eye down. I might just draw it how I've been doing it and pull it from this. Why not? I'll just put some. I am kind of thinking these are a little bit more floaty, especially this one. I kind of want to, well, I guess that's about the same. This one has more texture on it. I do like that smoother one. Okay. I know that center is going to be white, but I'm just going to get some in here. This isn't about perfection or anything like that. I'm just testing. And I'm also testing, can I get the textures to be more even? It's all about applying, because every little I don't want to apply too much too soon, because then it will really be kind of rigid there. So I just want to get a little bit down, and then I'm going to go in with draw. I'm just, you know, having fun. Would I plan out maybe a little bit more if I was doing it differently? Maybe, but oh, it's called a flash tattoo. Flash, like you're doing it fast. That's what I was thinking. So I can still pull up. These other ones I had a little bit more white underneath them, but that's okay. Every eye is different. And then I'm thinking I'm going to grab a green. And this is the, these are vermilion, the burnt sienna family, and this is the bright yellow green extra dark. Ooh, almost dropped it. And I can even pull a little bit before I put that down, but it doesn't really matter. But you can see how I'm getting a good pull on this. I even don't mind if it mixes, because it'll just go a little darker. So I might just use this other one because I don't want to switch them all out. So this is where you can brush off a little bit too. I like exploring. So see, it doesn't just wipe off. I can even go like this. It's going to go into the paper. Maybe this person's got a blue-green eye, because the blue is coming in from the wand. I love the animals too, C and B. Can you tell? I've done quite a few of them. So good to see you all at last. I broke my dominant arm 2 weeks ago, says Helene. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That is awful. Holly says, Dawn, thanks for the great job explaining everything. You're a perfect person to do residency at Golden. Love your community here. Gotta scoot. Thanks again. You're welcome, Holly. Thanks for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Oh, Holly, that is awful. I mean, Helene, that is awful that you broke your arm. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you know, working on eyes, you know, you can see, I don't mind doing a whole bunch of eyes, because it's not about the finished product for me. And that's what I try to teach all of you, to really explain and understand that we're falling in love with the process, not about what we're, you know, I'm not rushing to try to get done, try to, you know, show it, you know, all of those things. I mean, yeah, I have a lot of, you know, hours under my belt. I probably have over 7,000 hours working in this medium, but I'm about like discovery and exploring and seeing, you know, falling in love with the process is what I like to call it. I'm going to use some black in here for the pupil. And then what I would normally do with color, full color, is I would, you know, use the tints and the lighter colors, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to pull with erasers. And I'm okay with those colors going in a little bit because it's going to do something that I talk about a lot in my lessons. It's going to harmonize. You always want color harmony. Okay, I'll wipe that off and bring in some of the, a little bit of like vermilion. Always looks a little crazy before it looks good. Got to remember that's normal. Okay, I'm going to start pulling on a couple things just to kind of test things out and see how that feels. Thank you. You could be right, Michelle. I'm actually starting to relax. Oh, forcing you to rest. You know, that is so true in weird ways. I really feel like whenever I get sick, there's a lesson there, or if something happens, like it's forcing me to kind of like sit still with myself. That happened to me. I got sick a while back, last month, and it was pretty brutal. And so it just makes me, I want to get better at like listening to myself without getting sick. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like I learned and reflected a lot about what I want, where I want to go, and I always have some type of breakthrough when I do it. So this technique is really, really fun. You just have to be willing to go back and forth. But that's with anything, you know, even with a full color piece on a sanded paper, and I'm using the full spectrum of colors, I'm still going to have that push and pull. Now, I really think when you use your paper as your highlight and your value, you'd be able to seal this type of project without it affecting it too much. I'm actually going to use the black up here. I like my eyes to be pretty dramatic. Well, thanks for the hearts. We got some more chat here. I love eyes. They're so expressive and none are the same. So many emotions are created. I agree. I agree, CNB. I like the aqua. Yeah, the aqua paper was really interesting. So I'm glad that you like that. Can we get these effects with pencils for details as well? I mean, you might be able to use the pencils. I can grab a couple and see, but I never really thought of that yet because I wouldn't have even thought to use pencils on here. I like to be stretched. But sometimes I get so caught up and I want to have so many layers and so much freedom that it's kind of fun to kind of see what I'm going to put the highlight in because that always helps. And then I have the different erasers that I've talked about through the whole time. So I have my kneaded eraser and really leaning into just, you know, exploring, having fun. I like this little flat one. Okay, now keep your eye out. Excuse the pun, the bad joke. But what I want you to focus on, that's another one, I did not mean to do that, is the pupil when I work on it. It is a little different shaped. I'm going to clean it up a little bit here and get my green in here a little bit. Oh, we got lots in chat here. I'm going to check out the pencils. Have fun at the Golden, Dawn. Can't wait to hear about it. Fingers crossed for a live when you're there. Lovely to hang out with you all and the peeps. I have to get my day started. Take care, Louise. Thank you for all your kind words. I really appreciate it. And I'm not sure if you're on Instagram, but I'm sharing stuff in stories when I'm there. We'll just see how it all goes because you don't know how you're going to feel till you get there. Okay. I'm dying to hear about the golden residency thing. Did you talk about it earlier today? Yep, I did talk about it. These are papers that Legion papers who are working with golden and the residency are allowing us to, you know, kindly sample so we can try them out while we're there. So I've got, this is the Lennox, which I was excited about. And this is looking really red, but we can tone it down, but it's not supposed to be perfect. I'm going to put the highlight in, and that's what I'm going to use with my little pen, and then I'll work on the color. So now I'm just pulling. This is that technique, we're pulling. I don't do this on sanded paper. This is not for the sanded paper. This is just for these smooth papers. This is the Lennox. It's like a drawing paper. Trying out some of these like fancier papers that would be fun to play with. Seeing how much value I can get back after pushing it so dark. So that's kind of cool to see. I have a lot of value coming back. And then I can take and maybe bring in some of these browns and tone down the reds a little bit. Kind of like rubbing it into the paper. Being aware of the whites so I don't have to, you know, lose them, but it's got a really buttery vibe to it here. I'm really liking this paper. And then I can pull and push again. And then I have my kneaded eraser. This makes me remember when I sketched years ago. I sketched eyes and horses a lot. Thanks for the reminder of how nice these things are to do. Well, you're welcome, C&B. Luis is taken off. Lucky you to have such good pupils listening to your every word. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, man. I'm very grateful to have all of you guys here. We've had a really good turnout. So you can see I got, you know, some harsh transitions there. I'm just kind of like now, you know, playing with it. I'm not trying to make a fancy finished piece, but I am trying to get some of my values in here. We need value to make the rest pop, you know. And then I can take my kneaded eraser and lift. See the details you can put in. Sometimes when these kneaded erasers get really warm, they can be a little hard, so sometimes I'll put them get them out of my hands and put them aside. But you can see, it's almost like tinting a photograph. It's actually quite fun to get some color and to play here. And, you know, it definitely is a different type of blending and a different vibe. I like it. I like going back and forth with it. And you can see how just pulling up even right here. And then pushing this back. I mean, I'm being really conservative. That had some, well, that's going really dark, but you can see how this would be the nose. And then we would go it pulls pretty good, like even checking the edges of how much I can pull. Well, I think that's fun, so I can soften that. Just trying to play with edges, seeing what it can do. I could definitely go in harder with my, you know, building up, and I'm going conservative because I haven't really played with this before, so I'm just trying to like feel it out. But, you know, you can definitely do color on this, you know, just the paper. It's just not going to have the same layering and the style that I do in my other work, which is fine. And like I said, you don't want to go too much brighter. So say I wanted a little bit brighter of a green though, I really picked the dark one. I could go with the shade. I think that's what I really want. Even the core color is pretty bright on that. So like say I want to bring in some more of that bright. Oh my gosh, it's 3:30. Where did the time go, you guys? If you have any more questions, ask me before I go. See, I can still get some of that pop in there, and that's what I was missing. There we go. And then I can take that dark. And let's look at the, real quick before we go, I'm gonna grab a green. I moved all my pencils around today, so that didn't help anything. I have a dark, this is one of my favorite greens of a pastel pencil. This is the Caran d'Ache. And then I'm thinking like with a pencil, let's test that. Should have zoomed in a little bit. My camera's doing something funny with me, but, and then, there we go. Okay, let's see if this erases once I got a pencil on there. So it still leaves a little bit of a halo. So I wouldn't want to go in like hard with pencil or sketch with pencil. I like just sketching with the PanPastel, but I can still clean up things. And I can still go in and put a highlight in. See? And I can put some color around that to make it kind of sing. There. Okay, let me catch up on chat before I go. Let's see. Artistic Wandering says, love. Thank you very much. Lynn says, I'm amazed at what you can been able to do on these papers. Well, thank you. I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to try something new out. To be quite honest, I don't think I would have ever made the leap. I just don't think my mindset was there. So that's what I'm so excited about this residency and to have this Legion be so, you know, generous and offer these papers for us to try is just really makes me happy. I really think this experience is going to put me into a whole nother mindset and unlimited possibilities that maybe I didn't even think of. And maybe I was resistant to. You know, I've been teaching for over 4 years, and I think I'm going on 5 years now. And sometimes when you get in that mode, you're in kind of that production of teaching and sharing. And so I also want you guys to have a really positive experience. So I don't really go outside my, you know, zone as much. I am an explorer, but you guys have gotten that out of some of the things. But I think this Golden Residency is going to really push me and kind of help me just take some time to explore. And I feel like that is going to be really powerful. And I'm ready for it. You know, I'm ready to kind of take some chances and push things. Ooh, I like that. I really like this pencil. This is my favorite carbon pencil on there with the piece. Like, I really like how this looks. And then I can thicken some of these eyelashes. But you can really kind of combo that drawing vibe in there too, you know? All right, let's see what other questions we have. I parked to watch a bit. Now I have to drive home. I'll rewatch it. All right, take care, C&B. All right, I think I got all the questions. Let's see. I'm seeing quite a few new features since my last live. Oh, with YouTube. Yeah, they've changed quite a few different things. Vicky says, oh, welcome, Vicky. I don't think you've said hi yet. I picked up some new to me techniques. Thanks. You're welcome. Yes, says Artistic Wanderings. This is what I wanted to see. Oh, good. Well, I played with it. I did so many eyes. I'm going to show you all the eyes. I mean, how many more eyes could I have done? So I'm going to zoom out here before I take off, show you all the eyes and the different papers. It's really fun to be able to kind of share this. I'm just going to put them all up here and share all the different papers real quick before I go. So I'll zoom out and do that. So it's going to go probably on multiple cameras. Let's see here. Put another one on this side and move this over. So this was the Lennox white. I really enjoyed that. We'll put that one over here. And then we'll put these up high because I want to show everybody them all together if you've watched it. So I can move this up. There we go. Put these down lower. They're all staring at you, you guys. This has been a lot of fun. I've had a great time just sharing this opportunity with you guys. Okay, and then we did these guys. And then I'll take down the... they're not going to be straight and perfect, but all right. We did all the eyes. I have it in the bright, so just a sec. There we go. So lots of different eyes. So this was the Stonehenge black, and the Stonehenge Aqua, which we had those in reverse before. They were over here. I want people to at least know what they're seeing. So the Aqua was my favorite. I don't know which was your guys' favorite technique, which one you like the most. I always love to get your feedback. Tell me in chat. I don't mind staying for a couple minutes longer. And then I think my personal favorite, I actually like them all. I don't really know which one I love the most. But this is the Stonehenge Aqua paper, which was darker. The Stonehenge Black, which is more of a drawing paper too. We have the Lennox White. And this is the Coventry Rag Vellum White, which I feel like was a little bit smoother. And then we had the Coventry Rag White Smooth. So I think out of all of these, I really want to play with these two, the Coventry Rag Vellum and the Lennox White. And then I really liked both of the blacks. So I think getting a couple to play with would be a lot of fun. Let's see here. I'm glad you liked it, Michelle. Thanks for being here today. You're welcome, Tart. I'm so glad that you were here. Thank you, Jonas. See you next time. So glad you made it today. Helene, thank you for coming. I hope you heal quickly. I'm so sorry about your arm. It is fun to see them all together. That was a lot of fun. Well, I really appreciate all of your guys' support and everything. I don't know when I'm going to go live next. I'm hoping to go live at the Golden. We'll see what happens. I'll put a thumbnail up with whatever happens to kind of tell you guys when I'll be live next. And please subscribe to my newsletter if you want to keep in the know with everything, because I usually send out a weekly newsletter. And when I'm there, I hope to share some stories like I said. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see those. And we'll just see where it goes. I'm really excited to come back and share with you what I learn. And I think it's going to just level up the community too. So it's going to be a really, really good time. All right, let's see. You still like the Aqua? I like I'm always a huge fan of extra dark paper. So, all right, you guys, well, you take care. I will see you on the other side of everything, or maybe sooner. And I'm just really grateful you're here in the community. And if you have a chance, you know, definitely like this live today. It helps my channel. And subscribe if you want to see more of this content. And if you want some free lesson, go check out my website at dawnvanderstoep.com. I pinned the link in chat. All right, take care, you guys. I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.